10. Now my master goes, and I behind him, by a secret path between the city walls and torments. I began, O summit of virtue, who leads me around the circles of sin as you please, speak to me and satisfy my longing. Can those people who lie in the sepulchres be seen? The lids are all raised, and no one keeps guard. And he to me, they will all be shut when they return here from Jehoshaphat with the bodies they left above. In this place Epicurus and all his followers are entombed. Who say the soul dies with body. Therefore, you will soon be satisfied with an answer to the question that you asked me, and also longing that you hide from me here inside. And I, kind guide, I do not keep my heart hidden from you, except by speaking too briefly, something to which you have previously inclined me. O Tuscan, who goes alive through the city of fire, speaking so politely, may it please you to rest in this place. Your speech shows clearly that you are native of that noble city, and that I perhaps troubled too much. This sound came suddenly from one of the vaults, at which, in fear, I drew a little closer to my guide. And he to me, turn around, what are you doing? Look at Farinata, who has raised himself. You can see him all from the waist up. I had already fixed my great gaze on him, and he rose, expanding his chest and brow as if he held the Inferno in great disdain. The spirited and eager hands of my guide pushed me through the sepulchres toward him, saying, make sure your words are measured. When I was at the base of the tomb, Farinata looked at me for a while, and then, almost contemptuously, he demanded of me, who were your ancestors? I, desiring to obey, concealed nothing, but revealed the whole to him, at which he raised his brows a little bit. Then he said, they were fiercely opposed to me and my ancestors and my party, so that I scattered them twice. I replied, though they were driven out, they returned from wherever they were the first and the second time, but your party has not yet learned that skill. Then a shadow rose behind him from the unclosed space, visible down to the tip of his chin. I think it had raised itself onto its knees. It gazed around me as if it wished to see whether anyone was with me, but when all its hopes were quenched, it said, weeping, if by power of intellect you go through this blind prison, where is my son, and why is he not with you? And I to him, I do not come through my own initiative. He that waits there, whom your Guido disdained perhaps, leads me through this place. His words and his nature of the punishment had revealed his name to me, so that my answer was a full one. Suddenly raising himself erect, he cried, what did you say? Disdained? Is he not still alive? Does the sweet light not strike his eyes? When he saw that I delayed in answering, he dropped supine again and showed himself no more. But the other one, whose wish I had first stopped, generously did not alter his aspect or move his neck or turn aside, continuing where he left off. He said, and if my party had learned that art of return badly, it tortures me more than this bed. But the face of the moon goddess Persephone, who rules here, will not be crescent 50 times before you learn the difficulty of that art. And as you wish to return to the sweet world, tell me why that people is so fierce towards my kin and all its lawmaking. At which I answered him, the great slaughter and havoc that died Arabia read is the cause of those indictments against them in our churches. Then he shook his head, sighing, and said, I was not alone in that matter, nor would I have joined with the others without good cause, but I was alone there, and when I all agreed to raze Florence to the ground, and I openly defended her. Ah, as I hope your descendants might sometimes have peace, I begged him. Solve the puzzle that has entangled my mind. It seems, if I hear right, that you see beforehand what time brings, but have a different knowledge of the present. Like one who has imperfect vision, he said, we see things that are distant from us, so much of the light the Supreme Lord still allows us, but when they approach or come to be, our intelligence is wholly void, and we know nothing of your human state, except what others tell us. So you may understand that all our knowledge of the future will end from the moment when the day of judgment closes the gate of futurity. Then, as if conscious of guilt, I said, will you therefore tell me that fallen one now that his son is still joining to the living? And if I was still silent before in reply, let him know that it was because my thoughts were already entangled in that error that you have resolved for me. And now my master was recalling me, at which I begged the spirit with more haste to tell me who was with him. He said to me, I lie here with more than 1,000. Here inside is Frederick II and Cardinal Ubaldini. Of the rest, I am silent. At that he hid himself, and I turned my steps toward the poet of antiquity, reflecting on the words that boded ill for me. Virgil moved on, and then said, as we were leaving, said to me, why are you so bewildered? And I satisfied his question. The sage exhorted me, let your mind retain what you have heard of your fate, and note this. And he raised his finger. When you stand before the sweet rays of that lady, whose bright eyes see all, you will learn of the journey of your life from her. Then he turned his feet toward the left. We abandoned the wall and went towards the middle, by a path that makes its way into a valley that, even up there, forced us to breathe its foulness.